Charismatic jeweler Howard Ratner gets his hands on a black opal from Ethiopia, which he believes he can sell to cover his many gambling debts. But Howard's compulsion gets the better of him as he continues to make a series of increasingly poor decisions in the 2019 crime thriller Uncut Gems. I'm Connor Eyzaguirre.
I'm Austin Johnson.
And this is Filmgazm. Welcome to the Filmgazm podcast. We're continuing our top 10 films of the 2010s miniseries with my number 8, the Safdie brothers' 2019 thriller Uncut Gems, starring Adam Sandler in a career-redefining performance. We're joined today by Adam Johnson, once again, who is going to help us take apart this intensely uncomfortable and brilliant movie. Thanks for joining me today, guys.
Hell yeah. Love this movie. Love that you have it in your top 10. Adam, this is tailor-made for us.
It sure is. It sure is for a few different reasons, which I'm sure we will get into shortly. But yeah, I'm very excited when you picked this one in your top 10. It was one of my top honorable mentions, probably like number 12 or 13 on my list. So really glad it got on here. Love rewatching it. So yeah, very excited to dig into it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Totally honest, just throwing this out there. The main reason Uncut Gems ended up on my top 10 was because I was certain one of you was going to have Moneyball, and I wanted to have as many films represented as possible. So I thought like, oh, well, I don't have to talk about that. They'll talk about that. But you didn't. And here we are.
So what you're saying is this should be the Moneyball episode.
It should be. It should be. That's not taking anything away from Uncut Gems. It's a fantastic movie, but it is here by accident.
So yeah, I guess we're having a come to Jesus moment here. I almost put Uncut Gems as my number 10. But I was like, Adam's going to have it. But like, I also thought the same thing about Moneyball. It's like, you know what? There's only 10 spots. Like, what am I doing? You know, so at the end of the day, you got to look at your list and just go with your heart. Really, all three of us should have had Moneyball, you know?
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be the movie. Like when I initially made my list and I had like 20 movies written down, Moneyball was on there. And I was like, I bet all three of us have Moneyball, which would have been neat because that would have been the only movie all three of us have. But instead, none of us picked it. And we brought it up. We brought it up every fucking episode we've done.
So I definitely did that with Moneyball. I did that with Moneyball. Like I thought y'all would have it, so I just didn't put it. Uncut Gems actually was like my number, like 12 or 13. Like it's like probably just on the cusp of
same.
Top 10. But Moneyball, I definitely was like, oh, this is a top 10 movie for me for sure. But like one of them I'll have it, so I'll get something else in there. You know, that for sure happened with Moneyball. So yeah, Moneyball is like we could have. Yeah, I mean that could have easily been all of our like number 6s. You know what I mean? Like that's like probably where it should stand.
But when I watched Uncut Gems today, I did realize like, yeah, this deserves to be here.
Sure.
It's such a great movie. It's such a uncomfortable, wild, hard to understand at times because everyone won't shut the fuck up kind of movie. It's great. I have never seen anything like it before I saw it and since. It really is a unique, crazy movie about just, you know, how to make the worst decisions possible.
Yeah. I mean, this is like my favorite things all in one movie. Gambling, like sports, Adam Sandler, and one of my favorite all-time athletes, Kevin Garnett, and then probably like one of my 10 favorite under 40 actors, Lakeith Stanfield. Like she's got like so many things I absolutely love. And the Safdies, you know, Safdie brothers. These guys specialize in anxiety-ridden movies and stories, and I couldn't be more grateful.
Yeah. With that, let's talk about where we first saw this thing. What's your history with Uncut Gems, guys?
Adam, go ahead.
I saw it in theaters. I want to say like the weekend it came out. I mean, it's one of those things because of the subject matter and because of who was in it. You know, Kevin Garnett, I also am a massive fan of. I just wanted to make sure I saw it. You know, I might have seen it the day it came out, which was it a December 2019?
December
award season. Yep.
Yeah.
December, on Christmas Day. 2019. Yeah. So yeah, I think I did see it on Christmas Day. And I really wanted to see it in theaters because I had seen Good Time and obviously Safdie brothers, an earlier movie from them with Robert Pattinson, and thought like, man, this is something I really want to experience in the theater because I loved the sound of Good Time and like that kind of pulsating, score that it has. And I had a feeling Uncut Gems would take it to another level, and it certainly did. So no, I saw it in theaters and absolutely loved it. And I've seen it, I think, maybe twice since then, and then watched it today. So for that. So yeah. So what about y'all?
Oh man, yeah, I saw it in theaters as well. I might have seen it with you, honestly.
Yeah, we may have seen it together.
Yeah, just one of those things when you heard about it and you saw the poster, you're like, no way, like, is this really about to happen? So I stayed away from trailers because it's one of those things where I also like fell in love with Good Time right when I saw it in 2017, and like I have like a giant poster of it in our hallway. Sometimes Willow walks by and is like, what's going on? What is that? Let's show you later. show you in about 10 years. It's just a really fucked up movie. Really cool performance from Pattinson. But I'm with you, Adam. Where like I saw that and I was like, okay, what else have they done? Went back and watched, like Lenny Cook is a really cool documentary they made in 2013. They have like a ton of shorts that have been available on Criterion Channel here and there. So I'm just like head over heels for these guys. And it was like I didn't need to see the trailer because I believed in them as brothers, as filmmakers. I obviously believe in Sandler, and I heard KG was in it, so I was like, okay. I mean, I don't need to be sold on this at all. Like that's it right there. Those names alone, I rather stay away from the trailer and just kind of just dive into it. Go off the deep end type thing. So I'm grateful I did because yeah, this movie, it's pedal to the metal the whole way through, and it's 2 hours and 15 minutes of just straight up chaos and really crazy sounds and really crazy decisions and violence. And yeah, totally obsessed with it. I've seen it. I don't even want to admit how many times I've seen it in the past 4 years. It's just one of those, it's a comfort movie for me.
That's crazy. This is the exact opposite of a comfort movie for me. Like this is just pure anxiety where I just get uncomfortable and I'm like, fuck, the whole time.
Yeah. Give it to me.
This was my this is still my only run-in with the Safdie brothers. I've yet to watch any of their other films. And this was actually my introduction to Adam Sandler's dramatic work as well. I had yet to see Punch Drunk Love at that point. Like, so this was a whole new side of Sandler for me.
Reign Over Me, 2007.
Never seen that.
Cheadle? Oh man,
good one.
Yeah, you'd like that one. Yeah,
I know I would. There's just so much I have yet to get to. 10,000 of them, in fact. I've got a whole thing for that. I saw this by myself at, I think, Regal Northwoods, and it was a sold-out show, which I was very surprised at. And I went and sat in the middle of the row. It was the only seat I could get. And as the movie progressed, people around me started getting up and leaving. And I was flabbergasted. I'm like, I watched the trailer. I knew what to expect. And like everyone here thought they were seeing Grown Ups 3 or something. So everyone was just like, oh, this is reprehensible. And all these old fucks just got up and walked away. So I had the whole row to myself eventually. And I didn't walk away. I stayed because I was mesmerized. I was like, what the hell is this? I didn't know the Sandman had it in him. And yeah, it's, this is my 4th or 5th time with the movie. I remember we did a bonus on it, like the first year of Filmgazm, where you basically talked about basketball the whole time, and I was just like, yeah, cool, neat, because I had nothing to say.
Oh well, get ready, Connor.
Now I'm here with the This is
2012 playoffs, baby.
Now I got 2 to deal with. I don't know. But yeah, that's Uncut Gems was a real gem, and I was blown away and was expecting some awards traction, but it got completely shut out at the Oscars. It did make a splash. I think Sandler won. Was it the Screen Actors Guild Award?
I'm pretty sure he won the Spirit Award, and maybe the
Spirit Award. That's what it was.
Maybe the Screen Actors. I'm not sure. I just remember being appalled that he wasn't up for Best Actor. Appalled.
Yeah,
travesty.
I know, it's fucking crazy. But you know what? It never left my heart, and here we are talking about it. It's on my top 10 at number 8.
He did win the Independent Spirit Award.
Yeah. Independent Spirit. I remember the speech. It was a fantastic speech, and I'm just happy to see him get something for this.
Yeah, I'm just surprised he wasn't wearing like basketball shorts and like a polo.
I think he was wearing like a sweatshirt or something. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. What a guy.
Love the guy. And that transitions great into my question. So I assume you guys are very well versed in the works of the Sandman.
Oh, yeah.
My question to you guys is, when it comes to Adam Sandler, do you lean comedy or do you lean more drama? What do you like to see him do more?
Oof.
Comedy for me.
I mean, there's just such a small sample size for like
The more serious stuff, yeah.
yeah. But here's what I'll say about Sandler. I mean, first off, he's like one of my 5 to 10 favorite actors ever. I can watch a bad movie with Sandler any day of the week. I just watched Just Go With It a few weeks ago. It's fine. It's whatever. But he's great. He's awesome in it. Nicole Kidman's also awesome in it, and Dave Matthews. But what Sandler can do in a comedy is very, very rare. If you take, for me, the best example of this is Big Daddy. There's moments where he shows like a true tenderness, like true heart, and true talent and true skills as an actor, not just slapstick, Billy Madison type stuff. He does it every now and again. I think another great example is Funny People, which is extremely, it's an extremely misunderstood movie, I think. And it's like one of my favorite roles of his. And I'd say Punch Drunk Love is a great example as well, because there's a lot of comedic timing involved in that movie, but it's also obviously very serious and very sad and dark at times. So I think for me, I guess my answer is, when you get the best of both worlds, when he's able to do something really silly and be a really funny character, but also be in like a world where he has to step up, in the case of Big Daddy, be a dad, or Punch Drunk Love, he has to step up because he's finally like trying to fall in love or whatever. I think it can happen, within his comedies, but like my favorite movie of his ever is Happy Gilmore. So I love watching him just be kind of an idiot, be the idiot from SNL. I just think he's a misunderstood actor. I think he's super underrated. Obviously he's really successful. His movies make a ton of money, but I think as a skilled, talent, I just don't think people appreciate him enough.
Well, I think that's because we rarely see him do something like this. A lot of the times, especially in the past like 10, 15 years, it's been, grown-ups and Just Go With It and Blended and Hubie Halloween and Murder Mystery and these like nonsense comedies that usually include Kevin James.
Jack and Jill would like a word.
Yeah. I don't even want to.
Bedtime Stories.
Bedtime Stories. Oh my God. I've seen so many of these. Like, it took me a while to be like, all right, I got to stop seeing these in theaters.
I have not seen many of those because I did not walk out of Grown Ups 2, but I got very, very, very close. Like I've never walked out of a movie in my life, but I got extremely close to walking out of that. I was just like, man, this is brutal. Like, and so I kind of gave up on like that side, which is like, he's making movies for his kids, like I don't really like blame him. And he's getting these massive checks for them, and he gets to go to like Hawaii to film them. It's like, go for it, dude. But like, I don't like need to watch all these, you know what I mean? Like I did see Just Go With It. I have seen that. And it's like, yeah, like you said, it's fine. Brooklyn Decker's Finest Hour, but
yeah.
I get it. If I had that kind of, if I was an iconic comedian like that, and I could just, take tropical vacations with my friends, point a camera at it and crap out an hour and a half comedy that's going to make $100 million, I would do it all the time. There's so much raw talent in Adam Sandler that we see come out in films like Uncut Gems. And we see like, holy shit, that guy, not only can he act, he's fucking amazing at it. And he just chooses not to. And it makes me sad because I get why he doesn't, but I just wish we had so much more in that vein, because it's in there. It's like if Daniel Day-Lewis just decided like, I'm going to join the crew of Jackass for a while and just do nonsense.
God.
And we'd all be like, there's no gangs in New York. There's no There Will Be Blood. He's just, getting hit with a skateboard in the balls in Jackass 2.
I would almost trade reality for that.
It'd be awesome to see, but like we'd lose so much because of it.
Yeah, but Daniel Day-Lewis, like if he takes Chris Pontius's spot, am I upset with that? I don't know.
But you're not factoring the fact that like we wouldn't have all Daniel Day-Lewis's like roles to like go off of. You know what I mean?
But if I don't have them, then I never know what they are. Like if you take There Will Be Blood away from me, of course I'm going to be upset. But if I never knew what it was,
That's
Yeah.
true.
I don't know, but
But-
the
But
same.
then why would it be funny if
Sandler-
you didn't know who he was? You know what I mean? It's like
I
why
feel
would
like
true. That's
we
true.
still,
Yeah.
but we still had My Left Foot, and we still
Okay.
had In the Name of the Father, and
The
then
boxer, yeah.
then he just decides to go nuts and start doing Jackass.
See,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
Sandler too. I think a lot of people have a hard time casting him because you just like you don't know what it's going to do for your movie marketing wise, which is why like Paul Thomas Anderson saw Big Daddy in 1999 and was like, oh my god, that's one of the best performances I've ever seen, and he still stands by that. And he was like, I'm going to make a movie around him, and then you get Punch Drunk Love. The Safdies grow up Jewish dudes from New York, idolized Adam Sandler in the 90s, idolized, and they were like, we want to make a movie with him. They approach him in the mid 2010s, and he says no. I don't even know who you guys are. They make Good Time. Adam Sandler watches Good Time, and he says, okay, I'll work with you guys. So it's all circumstance, right? It's all circumstance and like who really wants to hire him to be in their movie, because when you have Adam Sandler in your movie, it's an Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah,
he's going to be the lead guy. He's going to be the lead role. He very rarely takes second fiddle. So it just kind of depends how you want to make your movie. I just think a lot of directors are scared to use him because of like what his filmography is. But with that being said, I do hope we get a couple more all-time performances from him before he's done.
On that point, though, I wonder if it's the directors as much as it is him, because you remember when he did not get nominated, he kind of made a comment like, well, there we go. Like, I'm done doing this. Because like, I think he was really hurt that he put like, so much into this, was as vulnerable enough to kind of play this character and then didn't get rewarded for it. So I almost wonder if it's just him saying like, yeah, I don't know. Like,
it's also just easier to make bullshit movies in Hawaii.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. And make a ton of money because you're like, hey, Netflix, let's do a deal for 10 movies. Yeah. And you just that's your life. And then look at him. He's like sitting courtside at Laker games, like having a great life.
Oh yeah, I don't begrudge him anything. I think it's not that it's easier like to act in comedies. I think comedic acting is like very difficult, but like he has a rhythm with like how those are made that like, and they just need to hit like a certain groove, and then like that's enough. Like there's not like as much risk involved in those, which is like fine, but it's like as kind of moviegoers and big fans of his, it can be a little bit disappointing, but I don't begrudge him it at all.
I think he's doing whatever he wants to do. He's earned his, place in all this. He's Adam Sandler. As a film fan though, I just, I wish I had, I wish I had more to watch alongside Uncut Gems so I could,
right.
It's a personal thing. There's no one to be angry at about this. It's just a thing that exists.
Yeah, in a perfect world, I would take out 7 of his kind of like, whatever comedies of the last, 12 years or so, and give me 3 more Uncut Gems performances. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But my favorite is Happy Gilmore too.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like I love Uncut Gems, I love Punch Drunk, but Happy Gilmore makes my heart so happy. And and there's no one that can do what he's doing in that movie, And I think that's the fascination a lot of 20-something-year-old directors had when they were coming up in the 90s. They're like, that guy's on one all the time. There's no one in the world who can quite pull off is that goal regulation size or what? That like he turns it to 11 so fast, and they can kind of bring it back down and be like, oh baby, I didn't mean to do that. I want to kiss you. All that stuff. Like no one else can quite do it that way. And that's skill. Like Adam said, that like the comedic thing, there's just so much to like his craft. And I just, he's so much fun to talk about because there's this huge filmography of, it's random as hell. But Uncut Gems, it's cool that he has it because there's no one else that could play it, right? There's no one that's as obsessed with basketball as he is and happens to be Jewish, from New York. It just like everything fits so well it's like they wrote it for him. I mean, they did. And they initially were going to get Amari Stoudemire to play the basketball player because Amari Stoudemire is also Jewish. Amari, I think, just turned it down or was like, no. And KG was like, let's fucking go. Like,
Amari was also playing for the Knicks at the time.
Yeah, he's an actual Knicks player from the 2010s. Yeah, so that would have worked. They do shout him out in the movie. They're like, Amari, like, KG doesn't have anything on Amari. They have like lines about that. But I love that. I love that this role. It's like he was born to play it. And every great actor has one of those where it's like no one else could have done this. And I think Sandler might have a few.
Yeah, you're right. I watched Click recently for the first time in a long time, and
Not bad. Not bad.
I was in tears. Like I forgot how great that movie is. Like it knows what it is, but then it turns into a very poignant life lesson about enjoying what you have. And I was blown away by how perfect he was able to balance both sides of that character. He's a great actor and does not get enough credit for his performance. A lot of comedic actors don't get enough credit for their abilities because they're seen as, like it's low art or something. Same with horror, genre always gets shit on by the drama people. It's what happens.
Which is why it was cool to see like Jamie Lee Curtis, win an Oscar. That is neat. It would have been cool if Sandler just would have been nominated, and he doesn't need to win. Like whatever you want to suck on Joaquin Phoenix's dick. Like I get it, for Joker, but get my guy Sandler in there.
Yeah, that would have been fun. Oh well, let's see where this thing came from. Uncut Gems was the brainchild of Josh and Benny Safdie, who based the film on their father's time working in the Diamond District as a salesman. So they heard a lot of, diamond talk and whatnot and retained that. The character of Howard evolved from Jewish humor and their appreciation for Jewish actors. And they wanted Howard to be an amalgamation of Jewish stereotypes. And they wanted him to be so proud of it, like it was a superpower. Like he is just, he runs on stereotypes and just embraces them. And it's very obvious that, yeah, he does. It's an interesting character. They wrote the script in 2009, immediately sent it to Adam Sandler, who was their first choice. But Sandler's manager rejected the script before he ever got a chance to read it. So it was his people who shot it down before Sandler could even say anything about this.
Sad.
Yeah, because the Safdies were, just two Jewish kids with a script who wanted to give it to Adam Sandler, and the manager was like, "Who the hell are you?" No, not nobody sees Adam Sandler. Not nobody, not know how. Years later, in 2016, the Safdies revisited the script and wrote a new take on it with screenwriter Ronald Bronstein. And Jonah Hill was cast as Howard, but was later replaced by their first choice, Adam Sandler, in 2018. Can you see this film with Jonah Hill as Howard?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. I don't think it'd be as good, but yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, he's not quite old enough to like play the grizzled,
with the kids. Yeah.
Yes. There are scenes that definitely I could see Jonah Hill doing like the accent and laying that on pretty heavy, and I could definitely see that.
Do you think that because he already has some love from the Academy, he would have been nominated for this?
Very possibly. That wouldn't shock me. I mean, it basically would be like a kind of like on steroids version of his character in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Donnie.
There's some similarities between those two. That just kind of like recklessness and just kind of like F you mentality. But no, I really do think it's the age. It's like really the only thing I think that would be holding him back. That I think. Well, and Sandler obviously is great. But no, I think Jonah Hill's amazing. I think he could have pulled this off for sure. Maybe like in 5 or 6 years, 5 or 6 more years from like now. So I guess 10 years, after the movie came out, I could have seen him doing it. But yeah, maybe not right when, obviously in 2009, Jonah Hill just, he looks like a high schooler still, 2009. It's like that definitely, would not have played as well. But I think it helps that Sandler is this kind of like grizzled, like worn down guy. That makes a big difference to me.
Yeah. I wonder if he channeled some of his like frustration for not being taken seriously into Howard and just used that as kind of a shield. I bet he did. There's times where you're like, that's Adam Sandler talking to us.
Fuck. Yeah.
Before NBA star Kevin Garnett was cast as himself, several other players were considered, including Amari Stoudemire. Is that how you say that?
Stoudemire, yeah.
Stoudemire, okay. I was Joel Embiid.
Yeah. Joel Embiid, yeah.
Embiid,
yeah.
Yep.
And Kobe Bryant.
Yikes.
I know how to say that. In fact, the Safdies wrote the film with Kobe in mind, but by the time production started, Kobe was more interested in directing, so he turned it down. So Kevin Garnett was the second choice.
I always thought Amari was the first choice because of the Jewish thing.
No, it's Kobe. I knew it was Kobe. I remember them talking about it when the movie came out. They said they also were a little bit worried that he was almost like a little too famous. Like it's like it would kind of remove. I mean, Kevin Garnett's obviously a massive, play in the basketball world, but he's not like ubiquitous like Kobe is. Like everybody knows who Kobe is,
I didn't know who Kevin Garnett was when I saw this, but I would have recognized Kobe.
Exactly. That's the perfect person. Yeah, case in point. Like like it's almost like, oh man, that might have taken people out just like a little bit and like would have maybe distracted from like the movie as a whole. Plus, I think the intensity of Kevin Garnett is like really what makes the character, and that's how he is. I mean, he's just just like he's got those eyes, and that he just is an incredibly intense character. It really is the perfect fit for it. Amari, I don't really see that one as much, Austin. I think that
no, I just think the Jewish thing is so cool. Like it's such unique,
definitely.
But part of especially I'm sure maybe they change things, but once we see KG and he's explaining the stone, and he's like Ethiopian Jews, and KG's like, what? Whereas like Amari is extremely smart and extremely knowledgeable about his religion and like how he's gotten where he is, and like why he looks the way he does, and he's Jewish. He might have not been like as blown away by this stuff as KG is. If that makes any sense.
It does. Yeah, it does. I think Embiid is interesting. It would have changed the movie pretty dramatically because his age. So all three of those guys, Kobe, Amari, and KD, were playing in 2012. Embiid didn't really start playing. I mean, he had a couple injuries early in his career, so he didn't really become like a star until like 2018. So the like narrative of the movie would have been much different. It would have been set almost like in the current day.
Well, here's the thing: is it's supposed to be set in 2012. Joel Embiid's at Kansas, right?
That's what I'm saying. You would have to totally change the story. I mean, it would be like it'd be set in like the present day as opposed to 2012.
Okay, yeah. Even then, the movie comes out in 2019. Really, like 18-19 is the first year where it's like, oh, the Sixers might go to the finals.
Yeah. It's
so
like even as an all-star,
yeah. So even then, it's like, oh, like he hasn't, like the Sixers haven't even got there or whatever. So
right.
I think they lucked out.
KG is perfect. Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah. All that being said, KG is phenomenal, and like no bullshit. This is not just because I love him. I would have loved to see him get a Best Supporting Actor nod. I think he's amazing in this movie.
Yeah, how the hell is this not on you guys' list? How did this end up on my list? Like, I don't even know basketball. It's like and I've never seen any of the other Safdie work. It's like I'm the last guy who should have this.
Yeah, Safdie's rule, man. They're like, you guys have both. I mean, I'm sure y'all have heard him talk or whatever and whatnot. But they're like obviously huge sports fans, but their knowledge of movies is fucking insane, and they go to bat for stuff that I had never heard of. So when they did their own like adventures in movie going on Criterion, it was them two together, and like the chemistry that they have and the movies that they have the similar movies that they enjoy or whatever from the past. It's incredible watching them two talk about it because they're like finishing each other's sentences. And it's really cool because you're like, oh, I mean, obviously this translates to their filmmaking. They just have like a really cool, working relationship as also being just brothers. So these guys rule. I cannot wait to see what else they do. For me, as far as like the feature films, like Daddy Longlegs, Good Time, and Uncut Gems is like I'll see everything else they do because of how good those are.
Yeah, I want to. They're all in my 10,000 flicks list. I do want to check out all of their. I just didn't have time.
Yeah, no, that's that. It's obviously like, how do we fit in like all the stuff? Like 10,000 flicks. Every time you say that number, I'm just like, man, that is a daunting task. I totally admire it. But yeah, I think they also, Austin, I think you remember this interview they did. I think it might have been on Bill Simmons' podcast with Kevin Garnett.
Yes.
Like when the movie came out, and I remember them talking about when they first got the meeting with Sandler, they were so worried they would just be like quoting like Happy Gilmore the entire time, like fanboying out with like Sandler just being like almost like the Chris Farley show where they're like, oh, remember that time when you did this? Like, remember that?
Yeah, that was cool.
Very worried. They're very worried that that's what would happen. But in the end, they're just like, no, he actually was like great, and like they got along really well right away. But yeah, he said we're just like those movies are like our lifeblood, like growing up, like we were so worried that that's what it would have turned into, just like quoting his movies back to him and him just being like, all right, dude, like what is this about? But no, I think they ended up having a really cool relationship. I think he's very thankful to them for like, giving this platform to kind of show this other side of his obviously acting ability. So no, it all came together really well. I mean, I think the cast is like, it's like perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely lightning in a bottle. It worked out for the best on every front. The film is distributed by A24, grossed $50 million on a budget of $19 million. Modest hit.
Let's go.
Yeah. It was added to the Criterion Collection in 2021. It is currently streaming on Showtime and Paramount Plus, which is good. I remember it was on Netflix for the longest time, but
It
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
It was.
Had a good run. Had a good
Yeah.
run on there.
It was in its top 10 for a while there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep meaning to pick up that Criterion edition. That's the next one I'm gonna buy is Uncut Gems.
I bought a Blu-ray at Walmart for like fucking whatever, like in that 3 for $10 section,
Yeah.
or like a year after it came out. It's like, God,
Right.
people just don't care about physical media the way.
Is this the movie that came out the latest on our list? It's got to be, right?
December
it's
2019. Yeah.
literally the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Parasite was like earlier in the fall. Once Upon a Time in
Yeah.
Hollywood was like July. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
got to be.
Yeah, no,
Has to
it's
be.
it's the most recent movie on our list. Yeah.
Waves was like November, so like a month before this. Yeah.
Okay.
That's nice. That's cool to think of. It made the cut by us like 6 days.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Uncut.
But yeah, I have that same Blu-ray. I bought it the day it came out because I was like, I need this, and I could have probably waited because now I'm going to spend the exact same amount of money on the Criterion edition, which I'm going to treasure. I'm now replacing movies. That's the point I've gotten at. Like I'm buying movies at least 2, sometimes 3 times.
Yeah. Well, because if you see those Criterions are just so much better than everything else. And Arrow, of course, and there's like those certain like collections and organizations that try to make the coolest cases, the coolest special features.
I'm all about top quality. I want the best possible quality for the movies that I adore. And I'll splurge for it. Now that I have a job again, I'll splurge.
Get by school.
What do you do? What do you do with the old ones?
I give them to Austin most of the time.
Yeah, I have a lot. I don't have to buy movies very often because Connor's like, oh yeah, here's 5 movies that I replaced, or yeah, cool.
Yeah.
You gave me not that long ago. You gave me because we did Edgar Wright not that long ago. You gave me The World's End and Shaun of the Dead. I didn't own either of those, and I was like, I guess I need to buy Hot Fuzz.
Yeah. If I come across a better version of Hot Fuzz, you can have mine.
I'll wait.
Uncut Gems has an IMDb score of 7.4, Rotten Tomatoes score of 91%, but weirdly, an unfortunate audience score of only 51%.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. Usually I'm on the other side of that. Usually, like, I'm with when a movie has a negative critic score but a positive or a negative audience score, positive critic score, I'm usually with the audience because I'm usually, this is probably dull, pretentious, boring, and I don't get it. But in this case, I was like, what the fuck's wrong with you people?
Well,
yeah. Go ahead, Adam.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go. Well, yeah. I think that's a testament to what the movie did. So many people that I know that have seen it are just like, oh, it gave me anxiety. It's like, yeah, that's the point. Like, and it's like, therefore I don't like it. It's like no, you have to kind of push through that a little bit and like try to see it for what it is and what it's doing. But yeah, it's why so many people have walked out. They're just like, oh, I simply can't take it. Like, I can't like hear everything that they're saying. I can't especially in theaters. I bet it was just like, it was almost overwhelming to me, and I loved it. But like, if you were not enjoying it, it would be like, this is overwhelming. I don't like this. I'm just gonna leave. So it doesn't shock me that is so low. That doesn't shock me.
Yeah, it's usually you don't see that.
Yeah, it's a lack of training your brain to like watch movies like this or watch characters like this that are just spiraling. And whereas like all 3 of us are open to that, okay with it, want it. And like, these are like gambling movies are like my favorite kind of movies where it's just like even Connor, like something just, it's like way different, but like Owning Mahoney, where you're just like, oh my God, like, dude, stop. But at the same time, you're like, keep going, baby. Just keep making those bets, keep gambling, keep giving, fucking giving your life away. I love that stuff. One of the movies that I know has influenced this movie is California Split, and Elliot Gould's character just can't stop. Like, he won't stop, and very much dresses the same as as Howard Ratner, and is definitely an actor that people have like stolen from the 70s. So I love that stuff. I love that go. I can't stop. I don't know how to. I have no off, switch. you know, with this Howard character, it is gonna get under your skin, you know, because it's like, I mean, like his wife, the beautiful Idina Menzel, is looking right at him like, "Can you please go say goodnight to your son?" And he's like, "Come on, what the fuck's up with these refs?" You know, he's just like so into his own little world that he's created through gambling, and you know, I think a lot of people just find that to be annoying, uncomfortable, all the above. And I think all three of us are gonna have a hard time relating to that because we're like, bring it on. We love that stuff. And I get the 50%, but I obviously don't agree with it.
Oh yeah, I don't either. Yeah.
It is interesting that, like, I guess if you know somebody who's like this, if you can relate to this, this is going to turn you off. But if it's a world that like you're unfamiliar with, that you can kind of step into and escape for a while into this anxiety-ridden world where this guy just ignores everybody and just lives in his own little bubble constantly until somebody punches him into reality, it's fascinating. So it is strange. Like to me, this movie is almost like a fantasy, but to some people, it might be a little too real. Yeah, I get that. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I bet every single day of my life. I to stay away from like real gambling and real betting. I do like super low stakes with a friend because I don't want to get caught up. I know I'll get caught up. I have got caught up and I lost a lot of money, so I don't want to do that. I'd rather stay away. But I still love these characters and I relate to them. I understand it because I mean, right when we finish tonight, I'm gonna pick 15 baseball games to bet on tomorrow, and they're all like a super low price because I don't want to like lose my life to it.
Well, also you're gambling with your money, not gangsters' money.
Right.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. No. I'm not fucking with Arno. You know, I wouldn't fuck with that guy.
Just the idea that you can willfully just gamble away $100,000 in gambling debt to a gangster that you need, and you're just like, you know, I'll take the over. It's fucking crazy. Yeah. Every time I'm like, Howard, stop. But no.
Well, yeah, okay. I guess we'll get into it here in a little bit. But like, there is a moment where it's like, I mean, the whole movie could have been fixed, but
I know, yeah.
But it's Arno's fault. Yeah.
That's about where I decided to stop and watch Reservoir Dogs for a little bit, and then get back. Yeah,
that's a good stopping point because things are about to change. You know, yeah. Oh, I see. You made sure you watched that Julia Fox scene before you got over to Reservoir Dogs.
I fast forwarded to that. I watched that a couple times. Then I went back and started the movie over properly, as you do.
As you do. Yeah. Fair play.
Critics' consensus on Rotten Tomatoes reads, Uncut Gems reaffirms the Safdies as masters of anxiety-inducing cinema and proves Adam Sandler remains a formidable dramatic actor when given the right material. Couldn't have said it better myself. That's pretty much everything we just fucking said.
Yep. Yeah. Way to sum it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Working fantastic. All right. Well, let's take a little break here and then we'll get into the awards. So today we're going to start doing something a little bit different when there's three of us here. We're very excited about it. And Austin, why don't you explain what it is we're doing here?
Yeah, well, here on Filmgazm and in my life personally, gotta love a good draft. I think this will be a good way to kind of spice it up. We're just gonna try it out. If it works out, if we like it, we're gonna continue on next week with Inherent Vice. But today, Uncut Gems draft, we're gonna stick with our normal categories: the Tarantino for favorite quote, the Thomas Newman Award for the favorite music moment, the Philip Seymour Hoffman Award for performance, and the John Carpenter Award for scene. So we'll all have 3 picks for there will be 3 picks for each category because we each have 1, right? But the way we're going to do it is Connor's going to have the first pick. So he can take whatever category he wants. If he wants to choose a quote, he chooses a quote. Performance. Once that quote or performance or music moment or scene is gone, it's gone. Connor has it, or Adam or myself. So this will be kind of a cool way to represent multiple parts of the movie instead of overlapping on each other. This also creates strategy throughout the draft because we're going for total chaos. This is Uncut Gems. So you can pick whatever you want at any given moment. So if Connor wants to go performance, Adam wants to change it up and do scene, go ahead. have at it, and I think it'll make more sense as we get going. So Connor, without further ado, you have the first pick, Adam's second pick. We're doing snake draft, so I'll have the third and fourth, and we'll go back the other way.
All right, interesting. Well, I think I know where I'm going to start here.
Yeah.
But first, I have a question.
Yeah.
Guess who my favorite villain is in Spider-Man 3? It's the Sandman. Give me Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Come on. He's the golden goose of this fucker. Like it's hands down the best performance by a lot. I mean, everyone else is doing a good job, but he's really unrecognizable in this. Like, I don't see Happy Gilmore. I don't see Billy Madison. I see this idiot Howard who just keeps fucking up his own life and digging a hole he cannot possibly escape from.
I disagree.
Well played. Very well played.
No, he is unreal in this movie. Howard Ratner, like, long live Howard Ratner.
Well, not really, but I appreciate the sentiment.
I would love to go there and help him and knock Phil out before he dies.
Yeah, so that's my pick. Adam Sandler for best performance. Well done.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I figured that's how it was going to go down. Adam, you have the second pick. Where are you going?
Okay. Yeah, I knew that was going to be the first pick. Would have been my first pick as well. Let's see. So I'm torn here because there's a performance I'd like to get, but I don't know which way Austin's going to go. So there's
here we are. This is why we do it.
I have 3 awesome quotes. So I'm not really worried about that. I'm not going to get a quote because
there are dozens of quotes.
Well, there's so many, but there's 3 that I have that I'm like, I definitely want. I do think there is like a kind of a I don't know, best scene, but like there is a favorite for me. But even that, I feel like I can go back. So this might be dumb, but I'm actually gonna go music moment because I had one that stood out more than any other. Here we go. Good. I'm glad I'm doing this. I had one that stood out more than any other one. And it's honestly the very end of the movie when the kind of like jangly score kicks in. Mm-hmm. When they win the bet, it carries right into the end of the movie, and then the zoom in on the the bullet hole like through Howard. That would be my favorite music moment when it kind of changes a little bit of the tempo, obviously, from that kind of pulsating to kind of, like I said, the more jangly score. And I don't know, I just really like that. I thought that was the one, and that was like that clearly stood out to me. So like I want to make sure I get that if I have the opportunity. So I'm going to take that.
Good pick. The title of that track is Uncut Gems.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, so you're going music. Okay, for a second I thought you were going to steal my weird music pick, and I'm glad you didn't. I'm taking KG. I'm taking Kevin Garnett.
Okay, happy with that. I'll happily take the third person there.
Yeah, third person. You can go a few ways, right? So
right.
Hell, you can go with Gooey if you want.
I love some Gooey.
There's some great performances. He's like, that's $175,000. Yeah. And 38. He's like, that's another 38,000. That's 10%. But KG, yeah, he's my first pick. I mean, yeah, we've talked about it a bunch. I don't even know, Adam. I don't even know. I mean, you remember when I was like 6 or 7 years old? Like I wore that KG Minnesota Timberwolves jersey like it was my skin. I wore it all the time. It's one of my favorite. Not just my favorite jersey that I had, but it's one of my favorite like models ever because it has the trees on the collar, the green trees, the Timberwolves and kind of that cool early 2000s font. Totally obsessed with the guy. I still keep up with him. Follow him on Instagram. I'm head over heels for him. So to have him in a movie that I actually like with Adam Sandler, a movie that I rewatch all the time, great stuff. Have to take him.
And then he's actually good too.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
So shit. I'm gonna do just in case. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna choose my music moment here, and I'm gonna go off the beaten path. This score is fantastic. It's great. Mm-hmm. It's very reminiscent of the Good Time score, just kind of like wee wee wee. Kind of synthy 80s style. Like definitely reminds me of Thief from 1981. But my favorite music moment is when Rain plays by Madonna when he goes back to the apartment to make sure that Julia has moved all of her stuff out. And she plays the song and writes that note like she's like 15.
Yeah.
Like, who does that? And it's really kind of like, when you really listen to it, just kind of like, because I'm not like a crazy Madonna fan or anything, but like when you listen to it, it's just like one of those cheesy 80s, like, come on, like, what is this? You know, like it's something that would play at like a, you know, like at a fucking school dance. And I just thought this time around watching it, I don't think I ever connected to that moment more. I just thought it was so funny, and watching Sandler walk in, like, what the fuck? I wanted to choose it. I think it's one of the most unique needle drops, and you have to really be paying attention to catch it. So I'm gonna go "Rain" by Madonna.
It's funny. I love right before that scene where randomly Billy Joel's "The Stranger" kicks in.
Yes.
It's such a weird choice, but it works.
Yeah. God, that starts the movie is kind of like an interesting point in the movie. It's you know, after the Passover thing, and they go in the car, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta stop at the other apartment." And Idina Menzel, who lights out in this movie, she's like, "Oh, look, we have to go to the apartment so we can fuck his girl, you know, fuck his mistress." And you know, the son is like, "Oh, I have to pee." And you know, they do that whole thing where he's even then he's like playing his own game. He's like, "Oh, I don't want my son to see in case Julia's there. I want my son to see." So he takes him to piss in the other room, you know, and the guy's like, "Number one and number two." He's like, "Oh, I just gotta pee." And he goes in there, and then he's like, "Hey, who's the hot chick that lives with you?" And he's like, What are you talking about?" He's like, "Oh, the neighbor was talking about it." Even then, Sandler is just like on one. And it's like, dude, all you're doing is going and like picking up some keys. Like, what? Even then, he's like, the stress is so high. And that's one of the things I love about this movie. Where it could have lulls, it does not.
No. Oh, very cool.
Yeah, Adam, second pick.
Okay.
You've picked your music moment. What else you got?
I did.
You can save
okay.
performance for the end now.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, I don't have to pick performance. That's great. Yeah, I can say that for your end. Okay. Man. Okay, let's go best scene. And to kind of like, I don't know. I wanted to kind of maybe go at the end there because it, couples with my music moment, but just to kind of spread it around just a little bit. I actually really this time around I love the scene after the auction when Howard gets beat up and then thrown into the water. When he goes back, he's all embarrassed to doesn't want Julia to see his face that, and then she kind of comes to like comfort in the office. And I was just like, man, these are two just like broken people and like just talking to each other and like going this whole thing. It's like they're on this like weird spiral. They don't even realize it's as bad as it actually is.
So toxic. Yeah.
That scene kind of like really stood out to me this time on this watch. And like he's so quick to kind of like she's so quick to kind of let him back in, even though he's like this kind of like disastrous dude. Like he's so quick to let her back in. She's like a slightly aimless, girl. I mean, she's like kind of like just like a little girl at times in this movie. You know what I mean? Like
when this movie came out, she was like 28 years old. Yeah.
But I mean, she acts like she's like 18 sometimes.
Yes, you know what I mean? 15. I mean, again, she plays "Rain" by Madonna.
Right. No, it's like these are people who just kind of, I don't know. I guess they're just broken. But no, that seemed like really kind of like jumped out to me this time. But even in that kind of brokenness, he's still kind of like, I can figure out a way. Like I can get out of this. I can borrow from Peter to pay Paul again. You know what I mean? Like it's like he always can kind of like come up with like some sort of little scheme.
And she gets the tattoo.
Oh, I know, ridiculous. Yeah, ridiculous. Yeah, just
why'd you do that? Oh no, I don't deserve it.
Yeah.
You can't even get buried with me now.
Yeah, broken people.
What am I doing? What the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
Oh, it's incredible. That's a great call. I didn't think about that as like my favorite scene, but it always makes me laugh. Like, look at these idiots. Great pick. So that's your scene. Connor, you have 2 picks in a row.
Yep.
And you have Sandler.
Okay. I'm gonna pick a line.
Okay. Going with quote. Here we go.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of great lines in this movie. There's a lot of the dialogue is just argumentative, but there are some random moments where it's just like, and I got to go with Dina.
Yes. Oh, dude, she's so good.
Just imagine what this woman has gone through. Her husband, who I imagine was already a huge piece of shit before all this, cheated on her with some, 28-year-old whatever, like employee, and now lives with her. Are they in the midst of a divorce, or has the divorce already happened?
They're talking about it because she has that one line that I think is great where she's like, well, like, why don't we just rip the Band-Aid off and do it now? And he's like, oh, I thought we were gonna wait till after Passover. And she's like, you say that, and then we're gonna wait till after summer. And he's like, I'd be okay with after summer.
I remember, yeah. Okay, well, yeah. So she fucking hates him, for good reason, and he like kind of toys with the idea of like, hey, let's let bygones be bygones, and try to work this out. And she's like, you know what? And says to him, I think you are the most annoying person I have ever met. I hate being with you. I hate looking at you. And if I had my way, I would never see you again. And he's not even hurt. He's like, come on. Like, he doesn't even hear it.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, you hurt right now. It's okay. I understand. If you want to punch me. And she goes, and she's like, I don't even want to touch you. So good.
I've never hated a human being that much in my life. I can't imagine that.
No.
Hear somebody say that to me to then just be like, no, you're just like, you're in pain now. You'll get over that. Like, no, it's over. Like,
yeah.
And I just, the shit she goes through with this guy, coming out of the school play to unlock the trunk where he's naked in. It's like,
dude,
I can't imagine. And you know that none of this is the first time for any of this shit. Like, this is shit she's been dealing with the entire goddamn marriage, and you can see it in her performance.
Yeah, man. That is such a good call. I love that scene. The Passover scene is really good, but mainly when she's in that dress. And what's great about that is kind of like the composition of it is all the other like supporting characters are all building her up, and he's trying to like be on the mountain with her, and she's like, nah.
Yeah.
Like, and then when they get home, she's like, take out the trash.
Yeah, the recycling. Yeah. Take out the recycling. Yeah, she delivers it so like matter of fact too. She's like, you're like the most, like, she almost has this sly smile on her face. Like, it's like she's so far over it that she's like, I wouldn't even consider that, like, staying with you. It's like, what are you talking about? She's like, no, like, not only would I not consider it, you're the most annoying person I've ever been around in my entire life. Like, she's just like, she almost says, yeah, like, it's like a smile. She's like, what? Like, are you serious? Like, she's great in that scene.
That bit and the bit after the play, and when they're at home, and she's like heating up the dinner, he's like, it smells good, barbecue chicken.
Yeah.
And she just looks at him like, what the fuck do you care? And then the daughter comes in, and he's like trying to compliment her, and she's like, whatever, Dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're literally dressed like an idiot, like a 19-year-old Guido about to go watch The Weeknd. Like, you're not a dad. Like, it's such a great scene. Like that whole like run with like his family. They nail those scenes.
Favorite part of that scene is when Dina takes the chicken out of the microwave and just like shows it to him, like, yeah, and then walks away.
Yeah. Like a little eyebrow raise, like,
really, bitch. And
I can't imagine having someone that irritating in my life where like I have to deal with them, but I hate them with every fiber of my being.
No, yeah.
And yet still she like feeds him, and and like does that whole thing like you do as a partner, because she's just like, without me you like wouldn't survive, and look what happens when you don't have me, you die. Like she's
175,000 in Julia's hands, shit goes south.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Have that scene too. So funny. This movie makes me laugh the more I watch it, because you're like ready for that like really like crazy ending. You're more just enjoying the ride. And there's just some great bits. So that's a great call, Connor. I'm glad Idina Menzel gets a shout out with that quote. So what should we call that quote? Because I'm trying to write them down like short. Let's do most annoying person ever. Or
how about just like don't look at me?
Yeah. From Dina. And you have another pick.
I do, and I'm gonna go with we just talked about it when Howard gives Julia the 175K. That scene is so fucking infuriating. Because it's over. It should be over. He got the money. He sold the Opal. KG gets what he wants. Arno's right fucking there. It can all end right now. But
yeah.
No, Howard's, he's got money. And when a gambling addict has money, all they're thinking about is the next bet. And right there is like, as soon as he starts talking to KG about the game, you're just like, shut up, Howard. Shut the fuck up. Stop it. Turn it off. Don't do this. They're right there. And nope. It's tense scene.
It's done so well. Just kind of how quickly it moves, but also how like it explains everything, you know, with KG coming in. Kind of, I love how KG comes in like, yo, man, like let me give you, like, I need to talk to you for a couple minutes. And he tells like he tells his agent like 2 seconds, like, I'm going to his office, I'm gonna talk to him. And he's like, what the fuck has been going on, man? Like, you've been giving me the runaround ever since I met you. Like, your door don't work. you have people outbid me at the auction. He's like, you think I'm stupid or what? And then like he does the whole thing, and he's be honest with me. How much did you buy this thing for? And he's like, he admits like, oh, you know, I paid $100K. So he's like, so you doubled your money. And he's like, he explains the whole. I mean, that's where the line, the most famous line from the movie comes is like, KG, you know, like you do your thing. This is how I win. He does that whole bit about like, look at this. They think you're gonna lose to Philly. Like they think you're only gonna score 15 points. They think you're only gonna get 7 rebounds. Like, don't you want to just fucking kill him? Like, he does that whole thing, and KG's like, dude, you're crazy. and then he somehow calls Julia, and Julia has like the most. I mean, I obviously he calls her from his office to there, but she like pulls it off somehow. Julia sneaks over to Joe's, gets the bag, and another great line is, I'm gonna fuck the living shit out of you tonight. She takes the bag and off they go to Mohegan Sun, you know?
It's an empty promise in the end.
Yes, an empty promise indeed. And we don't get to see her reaction to that empty promise as the movie ends. Great stuff. So yeah, that's a good pick, Connor. I'll call that the 175,000 scene. Just incredible stuff. Like the way this movie ratchets it up after an hour and 45 minutes of ratcheting it up is pretty cool.
Yeah. And then from there, it just gets, you know, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it, that whole thing, you know, like you won, but it's not like those guys you've been pissing off the whole movie are just going to go away.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, like right there, yes, like you have 175,000, you pay your dues, you know, do what you got to do, like level a playing field for yourself. But even before that, when he first gives the opal to KG or whatever, and like does the whole thing with the Celtics ring and pawns it or whatever, right there, after he does that 6-way parlay in the Celtics game, which I believe, Adam, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that game is game 3. That the first game that's played in the series, when he does the first bet, and he's like, he goes to the guy, he's like, cancel everything. He's like, I want KG points, KG rebounds, KG assists, KG blocks. I want Celtics to cover. He does this whole thing, and then the guy looks at him. That's the dumbest bet I've ever heard of. Yeah, I disagree. So it
is a dumb bet.
It's fucking stupid. Yes. But when he wins a shit ton of money, and right there you're like, oh man, like he's about to change his life. He's gonna give the money to Arno, but then Arno cancels the bet. Like at that point in the movie, you're like, oh my god, everything could have been fixed right there. But we need another hour of the movie. So Arno cancels the bet and like basically steals money from himself. Arno, like he doesn't, you know, he's like, I just don't trust this guy. But it's crazy. It's crazy how this movie like continues to string you along, but not in like obviously it's exhausting, but it's fresh. You're like, oh man, like what's the next ridiculous thing that's gonna happen?
So, correct me if I think we see scenes from games 3 and 4 and 7.
4. Yes, definitely. Obviously, game 7 at the end.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's 3 and 4. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's the 2 in Philly. Because there you see at one point it says, you know, series tied 1-1, and they're in Philly. And then the one where they're losing, where he gets taken out late. I think that's game 4.
And that's where he doesn't have the opal.
Right.
And that's when they're at the Passover, and Gooey's like, yeah, he looks beat up out there. You know, like
yeah.
He's like, that's my guy. He was in the shop the other day.
So the timeline, we lose a little bit. There's a few days there in between that we don't really see, I guess, is what is the point. Because game 4 to game 7, that would have been like almost like, you know, probably 5 days. Yeah,
I would say at least. Yeah, it's like, I don't want to like completely map it out, but yeah, I thought about that too. Just kind of like, what happened? Space between the notes, like what exactly happened? But it is a movie, and
yeah, sure. Yeah.
Can't have everything. But Adam, you have the next pick. You have your music moment and you have your scene. So what's next?
I'm gonna go quote because I know who my performance is gonna be.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go quote. I mean that this is how I win. I like
It's
that's
too easy. Yeah.
yeah, but it's almost like that's like it's like a layup. There's another one that I really like. I'm gonna see if you guys take it. If you don't, I'm gonna shout it out. I'm gonna shout it out later. But I'm gonna take this one. So this is between Howard and Damani. Uh, and
Damani's great.
I think it's when they're walking. I think they're walking into the Philly practice facility or something like that, or it's around that time. And he says, "I'll have you know, the first 2 points scored in the NBA was by a Jew." And he says, "Yeah. Who? What? Fred Flintstone?" He goes, "No, Ozzie Sheckman, 1946, played for the Knicks." And I knew that random bit of trivia. Isaiah was watching the end of the movie with me today, Austin, and as that scene was playing out, I just go, "Ozzie Sheckman," like right before he says it, and Isaiah was like, "Of course you knew that." Like,
Yes.
yeah, but yeah, Ozzie Sheckman scored the first points for that. But I love that little bit there because it is true. It's like Jewish people. There is a very strong connection to the game of basketball for whatever reason. But yeah,
Yeah,
love-
well, and obviously we can't say exactly what Damani says, but like the way he prompts that is fucking hilarious.
yeah, I
When
left
he-
that part of the quote out. Yeah,
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
it is.
It's a great joke. They're like, I keep the whole time I'm asking, like, why the hell is Damani hanging out with this guy? Like, surely there's other ways to sell watches in New York.
Yeah.
Like, having to deal with this dude's bullshit all the fucking time.
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah, it's a twisted relationship. but obviously it creates the movie because Damani's friends with KG and like that whole thing, that whole storyline. So, yeah, Damani's great. Damani cracks me up in this, where he's just like, and he's embarrassed by him because he goes when Adam Sandler's like, "Oh, cookies." He gets the ball. He's like, "Oh, he's going up for the layup."
Yeah.
It's such a funny, and that's Sandler, right? That is Sandler. That's like 1996 Adam Sandler just doing his thing, and I love it. It's like he was like let off the leash for a second. Great stuff. So your quote, we'll call it the Ozzie Sheckman quote. Yes. Okay, so you guys both have your quotes. So let's see. What do I need to do for strategy wise? Well, I guess I have 2 picks left, so I just have to take the last 2. So I got KG and I did Rain by Madonna. I'll just combine my quote and scene because it truly is my favorite scene. And my favorite quote, I'll go ahead and say now. Or actually, I'll wait a second. So when KG first comes to the shop, that's my favorite scene. The first time we see KG walking and Damani's with him, and it's just kind of like, oh wow, and
That was my second pick.
It's incredible because obviously it starts the whole movie on this whole storyline of like KG's involved with this opal. When the opal comes in, KG's there, and Adam Sandler, how he's like, oh, like you gotta wait, man, you gotta wait, like I gotta show you this thing or whatever. And so he does that whole bit, and he's like, oh man, this guy's crazy, but like I want to check this thing out. And he opens it and he's holding it. And my favorite quote from Howie in that moment is, "That's $1 million opal you're holding, straight from Ethiopian Jewish tribe. I mean, this is old school Middle Earth shit." And it's just such an awesome moment between 2 people I love, talking about this crazy stone that's got all these wacky colors in it. And then KG's leaning on the glass and he starts kind of like, because Adam, KG's fucking weird. Like he's just weird. And like before games, he like talks to himself, just like hype himself up, because like no one else is on the same page as him. No one's as nuts as he is. And so he has to like talk to the stanchion below the like on the basketball hoop just to get himself riled up. And so when he's looking at the stone, you're like, KG would do that. Like the movie works because KG would look at this colorful stone, this opal, and be like, I need this shit, man. And like he breaks the glass and he's like, no, man, I'm telling you, like I'm gonna drop 40 or 50 with this thing. Like I need this stone, like I need it. And so he's like, I'm not leaving without it. And Howie's like, whoa, no, like no, it's not for sale. Like I have it going to auction. And he's like, well, like why the fuck would you show me something if you can't sell it to me? And he's like, I just want to show you, man. I love you, KG. Like, come on. It's such an incredible moment. And then because he's KG and because Howie looks up to him and also is like, fuck, like I can't let this guy down. He lets him take it for the night to go play in game 3 against Philly in the 2012 playoffs. In that game, he actually did have like 28 points and 13 rebounds, which is like a cool actual thing they used. And then he's like, well, I need some like collateral, whatever. It's like, I need something from you. And he gives him the 2008 championship ring, which to me is like, all right, fair trade. Go ahead, take it forever. I'll keep the fucking 2008 ring. But he's like, no, this thing's worth more. So like, I need to make the trade. Immediately goes and pawns it off. And then, goes and starts making bets. He's like, all right, I know something. And that's when he does the whole bet thing, the 6-way parlay in the same game. That stretch of the movie when we first see KG and see kind of the ride it takes Howie on immediately is incredible. It's like just golden stuff. So I love that quote.
It's when we realize that they're kindred spirits,
Yeah. They both are just like two obsessed guys, right? They have like different things that drive them, but they're very obsessed. Also, another quote from that exact like moment too is when he first opens up the opal and he goes, "Holy shit, I'm gonna come."
Yeah,
I thought when you were setting up your scene, that's what I thought you were picking.
Me too.
Holy shit, I'm gonna come. And the guy is complaining to him like, "I'm gonna quit." He's like, "Look what you're doing. You're fucking with fishes. Like, come on, man. Anybody else in the district would love to have me. And you're not gonna like it, Howie. You're not gonna like it."
8 years of my life, he kept saying.
I love whenever somebody like is confrontational with Howard, he's just ignoring them. Like he's just bouncing around in his own little like crazy world until someone literally like slaps him or kicks his ass, and then all of a sudden reality sets in. But he is just like KG, in his own little obsessive bubble that he's created for himself to insulate himself in his own way. With KG, it's the opal, and with Howard, it's gambling. And
a score, like scoring. Yeah.
The next big score. It's such a crazy way to live your life. Just how does he not have like heart problems? It's I don't know.
He probably does, right? Well, I love how the opening of the movie is him like at the doctor. He's like getting checked or whatever. And when the doctor calls him back, it's complete chaos in his office. Damani's pouring shit in his fish tank. Like, fuck you, man. Those are my watches. And it's just bonk. The doctor's like, everything okay over there? It's just insane. I mean, if you're a normal person from fucking Texas, you're like, this world is like way too fast.
One line I almost went with was in that scene where he's on the phone with the doctor. The doctor just casually says, "Colon cancer just paid for my house in the Hamptons."
Yeah.
Man. That
was so funny.
That is genius.
An asshole.
So Connor, now that we've all picked our line now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now that that's been picked, so my backup line was it was around that same time, Connor, and he says, I know, Jews and colon cancer. What is that? I thought we were the chosen people.
I love the line, fucking from stone to stone. Garnett's a stone. You know that.
Garnett's actually my birthstone. So
nice.
Fucking love that.
Oh man. Great stuff. Well, okay, we're Adam, you have the performance left, and Connor, you have music moment.
Okay. So my performance, Lakeith Stanfield for me.
Yeah, Damani.
Yeah, as Damani. Yeah, he stood out more this time than I think even like the first few times I saw the movie. I don't know. He played a bigger role than I remembered. I was like, man, he's in like more scenes than I.
Kind of like
he's like kind of cool, cool guy in the scene.
Kind of like Daniel Kaluuya and Sicario. Just like forgot.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah.
You combine those two. What do you get? Get out.
Judas and the Black Messiah. Oh.
and that one.
And hopefully more in the future.
I hope so. They're fucking fantastic together.
Hopefully Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Oh man.
Lakeith would be great in that, right? Yeah.
Yes, he would. Yeah.
So yeah, that's mine. I mean, I think he's just so good. I mean, he in this movie, he's quite different than like his Atlanta character or whatever, where he's like this kind of just like total like weirdo. I mean, he's obviously like I love him in that show, but he's a little more like kind of like cool. Like he's a little more like in like the in crowd, and like he's like kind of a hustler. He's kind of like plays the game a little bit. Whereas like I think a lot of his other stuff, and I think probably how he is in real life is kind of just like, yeah, whatever, man. Like I'm just cool. Like this, he has a little bit of that anxiety. He has a little bit of that like, I gotta get mine. I gotta take care of mine. Instead of that kind of like just like roll, go with the flow like vibe that he has in a lot of his other performances, particularly Atlanta. But I thought he was just great in this, and I think like bounces off of Adam Sandler really well. Like I thought their chemistry was awesome, despite like most of the scenes are kind of arguing, but I think they have a good like dynamic between the two of them.
Yeah. Have you seen, to speak about Lakeith? I mean, yeah. Like, what can you say about him? He's just a fucking legend already. Have you guys seen the actors and actors Brad Pitt and Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
No.
And Brad Pitt is asking about Lakeith. He's like, man, what a talented guy. What was it like to work with him? And Adam Sandler was like, I learned more from him than he learned from me. Fuck. Like the guy's just a legend. And Adam was like, he would like come and like read lines with me and stuff. And like, he just like wanted to work, like nail this character. And he does. And I read somewhere, and I thought this is really fascinating. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Someone was like, can we get an Uncut Gems 2, but from Damani's perspective, like not the same time frame, but like when he first met Howie?
I'd like to see that.
I've watched the shit out of that.
Oh,
yeah. Like
yeah.
Damani like coming to him being like what's the pitch? He's like, look, I'm gonna bring like high rollers in here, athletes, my friends, whatever, people around New York City who like have money to spend. And like, what am I going to get out of it? Am I going to get 10% of the sales? Like I'm like an unofficial salesman. I'm not going to work for you, but I will come in as long as you give me a cut. That's like such an interesting relationship that we know about. Like we understand it like on a surface level, but there's obviously things that have happened between them that would probably blow our minds. You know, like what other stories does Damani have to tell about Howie?
I don't know. I know he's not going to the funeral.
No. I think the funeral might have Julia there. That's
Yeah, they're gonna chuck him in the Hudson and then just walk away.
Yeah. So we've all picked a scene, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, Connor, all you have left is music moment. The ending to me of this movie is fucking amazing. Like the not just killing Howie, but killing Arno is just like you kind of forget. You're like, oh yeah, like I forget what kind of world we're in. Like it's their world. As much as we're like wrapped up in Howie's game, it's like, yeah, like those guys had control the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that the moments where like Arno realizes he's no longer in control, that like his thugs are way more hardcore than he is.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's his brother-in-law.
Yeah.
And he hates him, but he doesn't want him dead.
Yeah, because like if he dies, what is he gonna tell Gooey? You know, like come on, like he has people to answer to, that are not business partners, that are like family members. So he definitely is like, let's fuck him up, let's get what we need out of him. But yeah, I mean, death, like that's when he's like, I'm out, I want out of here. Like, and Phil's like, boom, just shoots him, and he's like, come on, and they start taking the jewelry and stuff. You're just like, dude, those guys, and it's foreshadowing because at the very beginning of the movie, the first time we see Phil, he looks at Howie and says, "You're fucking dead," and it's like, well, yep, yeah. I mean, 2 hours later, bam.
Yeah, the whole movie, they just keep antagonizing each other, and yeah.
And the camera clues us in a couple times because like there's times where they'll zoom in kind of like on his eyes, like, and like he kind of you see him just kind of staring at Howie a couple times. It's like it's clearly he's like got this like just incredible disdain for him. He's like, I know like technically I'm kind of like working with Arno or like working for Arno, but like I'm this guy has like drawn my ire and I'm going to do whatever it takes to stop him. You know what I mean? Like yes. I do not want him to win, whatever that takes. And obviously in the end it takes, killing him, but.
Well, and like also a line I thought about was when he looks at him and goes, "You having a good time?"
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He does like the like old like 1995 Sandler like yes.
Yeah. Like the Hurley boy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. So good. Yeah. God, this movie rules. But Connor, you have the last pick. Music moment. What do you got?
I'm going with the opening credits.
Oh yeah, classic.
It sets us up. It's almost like an episode of like Carl Sagan's Cosmos show, where it's just the universe as we know it, and it's so against what you think this movie is going to be the first time you see it, and then as we zoom out, we realize, oh, this is Howard's Colton, and it's like Howard might be the only movie character in history to be introduced asshole first. And it's just so appropriate for who he is. And the music playing is like, it's so ethereal and so strange and just bizarre and fits the guy so well. Because you could not explain Howard Ratner to anybody who hasn't seen this movie.
Yeah. 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 Just like I don't even, I don't even know where you begin. Where does the sentence start?
You're not gonna believe this guy.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that track is called "The Ballad of Howie Bling." What a cool name.
God, isn't that his Instagram handle?
Howie, yeah, he's like, come on, Howie Bling, come on. uh, that's one thing I do respect about the movie because it's supposed to be 2012. He actually does have an iPhone from that era. Like you can tell it's not. You can tell it's not like an iPhone 11 or whatever. It's like an iPhone 4 or 5 or whatever.
Yeah, and the texting, you can tell that the text bubbles are different.
Yeah. Good, just good shit all around. The Safdies are incredible. I can't wait to see what else goes on with their career, and I'd love to see them reunite with Sandler again. Obviously, they can get the best out of him. So, should I recap these picks real quick?
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I'll go through. So Connor for performance has Sandler, Adam for performance has Lakeith, and I have Kevin Garnett. For quote, Connor chose the Dina. You were the most annoying person ever. I mean, if I had it my way, I wouldn't even see you again. Adam chose the Ozzy Sheckman, 1946, played for the Knicks. Quote, I chose the "That's $1 million opal you're holding in your hand," Ethiopian Jewish tribe, Middle Earth shit. Then Connor for scene chose the kind of the last bet, the 175,000 going from one window to the other to Julia. Could just complete madness in his shop. Adam chose the kind of post beat up scene where Sandler and Fox are doing a lot of acting here, and it is actually quite remarkable. I thought that was kind of the steal of the draft. I didn't really think about that. So great pick. I chose the first time we see Kevin Garnett and the opal, and the movie becomes what it is. Connor for music moment chose The Ballad of Howie Bling, which is the first track that you hear. Adam chose Uncut Gems, which is the last track that you hear, and I chose Rain by Madonna, which is a track which is one of the few needle drops. One thing I will bring up: we haven't talked about The Weeknd being in this movie. That is, I don't care about The Weeknd, like as far as like his music and whatnot. I'm not a fan at all. I mean, respect him for being whatever, like really famous and whatever. I don't really care too much. It's not for me. But the fact that he's just in this movie, in the middle of it, in 2019, is a pretty big fucking deal. Like, I wonder how that went, how they got him to be in this movie, because he's pretty fucking huge.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder how those negotiations went. Obviously, they're kind of catching The Weeknd. They're trying to make it like 2012 when he was first becoming The Weeknd, and people like Adam Sandler is like, the fuck is The Weeknd? Like, he looks like an idiot. But now when he gets casted in the movie, he was already massive and has just gotten bigger since then.
Well, it's also like, I wonder how they pitched it to him, because he plays like he's a dick in this movie.
Oh, he sucks. Yeah, he sucks. Yeah.
Well, and famously, he's got a famous song about cocaine, and he does cocaine in this movie. You know what I mean? It's like that is a part of his life that it seems like he's maybe tried to leave behind a little bit. I don't know. Like that's interesting that they got him to do that.
Yeah. Like when he's like, I'm not gonna perform without the fucking black light. You're just like, this guy sucks. And I feel like Howie in that moment where I'm like, where the fuck am I? What am I doing? What am I doing here? I would want no part of that scene. Like, I just, no thanks. So I think that scene's really good. When he like catches her in the restroom with a character named Flawless. He's like, oh, fucking Howie's in the building. It's such a funny, it's just like, fuck this whole world. This like go-getter hustler, like, check out this Ferrari, this Porsche, that whole world is just like disgusting to me.
It speaks to Howie's insecurities, because he wants so badly to be part of this world, but everyone just knows he's not cut out for it. Everyone wants nothing to do with him, but he keeps trying to push his way into this high roller world that he just does not belong to. And that like that comes from somewhere. There's probably some deep-seated resentment towards something that created this guy. This guy doesn't just happen overnight. But it's all in the performance. Like, you don't need to be told everything. You can just tell by the way Sandler performs it that this guy's got demons
Yeah.
associated with this world.
Yeah, yeah, and like we don't need to know all the pieces. You know, like Sandler picks him up and just kind of has him just all over the place and knocks the performance out of the park. So, I guess we can move on to what's in the box, unless you guys have anything else to say before we finish off the. We're done with the awards now.
No, I didn't have any. We discussed pretty much everything I had written down.
I'm trying to think.
I have a couple little things.
Okay, let's hear it.
So the Diamond District.
Yes.
Fascinating place. This is not something we've talked about much about, but obviously a bunch of these guys that are in this are actual Diamond District guys that the Safdies kind of came across, which is why there's a bunch of them who don't really have faces for the movies, but they've made it into this film because they use like real dudes. And not everybody, not all of them, but some of the people they use, like the guy that's in the hallway at one point, like trying to get the fake Rolex back, like that's a real Diamond District guy. There's a few that they kind of used. I looked up the Diamond District. I just like Googled Diamond District. I was trying to figure out exactly where it was. So I got that, but I also looked at these Google reviews for a couple different places in the Diamond District, and listen to this. All in all, I can sum up the Diamond District in 2 words: buyer beware. In reality, the 47th Street is a huge beginner's trap for buying diamonds. If you don't want to take the risk of buying jewelry and end up receiving something else for what you actually paid for, avoid the area. And then this is another one. There is no such thing as a bargain diamond. Instead, there are beautiful diamonds at a fair price or a low quality diamond with inflated and misleading quality grades. The New York Diamond District too often deals in the latter. I mean, it is a place. I mean, as portrayed on this movie, it's not a place I've spent a lot of time in my trips to New York. But first of all, how do y'all feel about jewelry? Because like I just don't care about jewelry like at all. Like, I'm not like an accessories guy or like yeah. So like, but these dudes are like that kid that works for him that says like, I gave you 8 years or whatever and leaves. It's like, I mean, that kid has just kind of been suckered into this world. And like maybe it's given him a little bit of a job, but it's also like, dude, this stuff like doesn't matter. Like this is not like that big a deal. And all those people, it's like it's just a bunch of like I find the whole thing and like even his store, like even though it has clearly like some kind of precious stuff in there, like so tacky. You know what I mean? It's like I just kind of like I just don't get this whole thing. Dude like KG who's got like crazy disposable income and just like, okay, I want to like kind of stunt on some people with like some jewelry, like fair enough. But like I don't know, like the whole like the guys that work there, they're always just trying to one up somebody else or like screw somebody out of something, or it's just like it's a world that I want like zero part of. Like I don't look at that. Like I think there might be people who watch that movie and think like, oh, what an appealing like place to be, or like like, oh, that'd be like a fun like little hustle to have. It's like I look at it and I'm like, yeah, no thanks. I don't even want to like step foot in any of those places like ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah. There we could have a whole episode on this. I'm with you pretty much all the way through. There's this guy that I knew in St. Louis that I met at a concert, and he worked pretty high up in some company that made diamonds. Didn't really like have a shop like that, but they like cut them. And when he explained that part to me, I was like, man, this sounds pretty fucking sick. Like having because it just takes like years of training and like understanding and knowledge to like how to know how to like cut stones and you can like he could like pick them out. You'd be like, oh no, that one's bullshit. Like that one's cut really well. That part of it, it's like a craft, right? It's like a cool, It's like a cool hobby, cool thing to master. I get that part, but I'm with you as far as like the culture of like being in a shop with other people who are like, oh man, I just want like the biggest watch I can possibly find, and it's kind of rooted in attracting the opposite sex, really, or the same sex, depending on how what your sexuality is. It's trying to attract people to you, which is why they're so bright and so shiny, and why like when you're it's why when you're like 2, 3, 4, or 5 years old, the beginning stages of your life, you see something shiny and you just like go to it. Yeah. So if a guy has giant, diamond shiny earrings in his ears, you might look at him for longer than you would without him having them on. And like that's where like the insecurity of being a person comes from, in my opinion, of just kind of like, I need all this stuff to kind of distract from like who I am, like what my heart actually says about me. And that's why, like you said, a lot of people with really indisposable income are just like, I guess I'll do this. I guess I'll buy cars. I guess I'll buy a bunch of clothes. I guess I'll buy this, and diamonds in this like world, it just like works for them. Cause it's like, oh, when I was working this normal job, I couldn't think about going to this place. So Adam, not only are we not interested in this place, we can't go.
We can't. Well, yeah,
We can't even get in the door type thing,
Right.
you know? Like
Right.
we can go to fucking like North Star Mall in San Antonio and find some cheap ass shit at some like kind of wannabe shop at the mall. But if we're like going to go to like a proper diamond shop, like it ain't happening. Like it
Right.
ain't happening. So
Right.
it's a status thing for sure. It's
Yeah.
it's like a look at me, look. Obviously, I have money because of these things that I have.
I can
on
afford
me.
this. Yeah.
So like I get it, and then like deep down I don't. So like on the surface, I'm like, yeah, sure, like you want to have nice things because like you earned it. You know, Kevin Garnett, you busted your ass. You went from high school to the NBA. You're an amazing player. You've won a championship. Spend away. Do what you want with it. Do I wish he would do other things with it? Of course, but like I'm not him. And you know, he can have these giant cool diamonds, but I've always known KG to be someone who's like not like I've seen him like wear nice earrings, but there's other players like a LaMelo Ball where it's like, dude, you're just like straight up iced out from head to toe.
Yeah.
Like every little thing on you is like gold and like crazy shiny. I've always thought KG to be kind of like a more, what's the word? Like more modest.
Sure.
But yeah.
I have a family friend who went to the Diamond District to get some diamonds appraised, some diamonds that they spent quite a lot on and were really talking them up. And they were fake.
Yeah.
And yeah, that same person also like sold some real diamond jewelry for about like $15K, lost the $15K at the airport, and just never. They make so much money that wasn't any big deal to them.
Wow.
I know. I was pissed. I'm like, if I lost $15K at the airport, I'm probably blowing my brains out that night.
Man,
Like,
is yeah.
This person astonishes me. And yeah, so that's my diamond story. I got nothing to do with diamonds beyond that. So
yeah. It's just it's a world that we won't ever know anything about, and I'm okay with that.
Me too. And I have two other very quick shout outs, and then also we do need to get a quick basketball corner. The guy who plays the auctioneer is so good. I love that guy.
Excellent. Great. That's a great scene. I love the scene when he's talking to Anne on the phone, and he like, he's like, okay, she wants us to take these pamphlets out. So you take those, I'll take these. He's like, wait, what is that? What are you doing? She's like, I just have a question for Anne. He's like, well, I just talked to her. Why would you need to talk to her?
Do you know who Anne is played by?
Is it? Ooh, I don't know.
I looked that up once. I don't remember who it was though.
Any guesses?
British?
Yes.
Kate Blanchett?
Yeah. No.
Tilda Swinton.
Oh, yeah. You can hear it now. Yeah, you can hear it now.
Also, the Boston player personnel rep. Do you know who that's voiced by?
That's I did see recently. It's like someone younger, right?
Natasha Lyonne.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
That's
she's
great.
a legend. I love her. Yeah. This is like how cool this movie is, that it just has these things that like no one would know about, right? That when you look a little further, and yeah, it's an uncut gem. What can I say?
I also think the guy who plays Phil, Keith William Richards, is so good in this.
Oh yeah, he's fantastic.
If I didn't get first pick on performance, he's the guy I was going to go with.
Nice.
He's awesome. My favorite like line reading he has. He's and like just like his facial expression is when he's at the play, and how he's like, at my daughter's recital, it's kind of fucked up. Is it fucked up? And he's like, come on, let's go outside. You sure you want to do that? Like, he's just like, I don't give a shit. Like, you're the one who's an idiot. I'm following you. I mean, you're not following me. It's such a good bit. And the fact that Sandler, that how he thinks he's gonna get away out of this school is like, dude, what are you doing, man? Like, so funny. Oh man.
Even if he did pay off Arno, like he thinks like the money is going to be like a talisman that's going to just protect him even if he paid off the guy, Phil's gonna kill him. Like that was an inevitability here.
At that point, yeah.
Yeah.
He like hates him. He's like, you
Yeah.
like represent what I just loathe about human beings. Yeah.
It reminded me. I watched Step Brothers a couple days ago, and the scene where at the end at the Catalina wine mixer, when Rob Riggle's like, "There's just something about your face. Like I can't stand it. I want to punch it, and you can't do anything about it. I just want to destroy you right now." Like that's Phil.
Yeah.
That's Phil to Howie. Yeah.
So from the Diamond District to Catalina wine mixer. I love the connection.
Let's
I have
go.
had a weekend, guys, of weird. I've had a random marathon of just whatever the fuck. Blade Trinity is what I walked away from to do this.
Interesting.
Great stuff. Yeah, you said you stopped watching Uncut Gems to have a little halftime, and your halftime was Reservoir Dogs. Which is like another intense movie about diamonds.
Yeah.
So yeah, must have been, I must have been thinking about it, like subconsciously, like yeah,
like,
that happens.
I either want to be a guy who sells diamonds or steals them.
Perfect.
You shoot me in your dreams. You better wake up and apologize.
That's my favorite line in that fucking movie.
That might be my favorite thing Tarantino's ever written. Is that line? It's just so sick.
Okay, Austin, a very quick basketball corner.
Sure, yeah. What you got?
So, okay. For the movie, it makes a lot of sense. But Kevin Garnett would not just be like casually wearing around his championship ring.
Oh no.
Also,
guys don't do that. Yeah.
No. Also, especially the modern ones that are like just absolutely iced out. Like, I mean, they're just there's these, I mean, you see it in the movie. It's huge. Also, so he's playing in a series between Boston, which is a little north of New York, and Philly, which is a little south of New York, and he's constantly going to New York, like on game days. Like that also is really bizarre behavior. Like
it doesn't make much sense at all.
Yeah. It would have made more sense for him to go on off days.
Yeah, so if he goes on an off day from
Like
Philly
between games, yeah.
Philly to New York makes more sense because it is like 2 or 3 hours, depending, how fast you drive.
And then Boston to New York is only about 3 hours. So it's like that's
yeah. Yeah, I guess if you're but here's my thing about if you're in Boston and that's where you live and that's the team you play for, like why wouldn't you just go home? Like and sleep and actually
also on game days, especially in the playoffs, you have a shoot around which is usually around 10 a.m. and let's say the game starts at 7, 8, right? Like usually you get to the arena probably like 5, so so he gets someone shoot around at noon and he's got to be back at the arena at like 5. It's like, okay, you have 5 hours. You're gonna it would take you the entire 5 hours just to go to New York and back. Like I mean, unless he's hiring a chopper, which even then is like it's still cutting it very close. Like it's just like that's just not really something that would happen on an off day. It could, right? Because he could have his shoot around in the morning, and then he has the rest of the day to kind of do whatever, So like that would make more sense. But they do say like 2 different times, like, oh, you have a game tonight, and it's like clearly like late afternoon. It's like what, like
yeah.
that's just not happening. I mean, so that was like one like kind of qualm. I mean, sometimes when I watch like either sports movies, like movies where there's a lot of sports in it, I can't help but like pick up the things I'm like, that's just simply not gonna happen. So here's one. When they go to Philly, the practice facility, there's a scene where you can see them walking down the tunnel and you can see the team store in the background. There's 2 like mannequins with jerseys on them that are the like 2018-19 versions of
yes,
jerseys.
I wrote that down. I wondered if you bring it up. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And and it's wearing number 21, which is Embiid, which is like that's like and the guy who wore number 21 on that team, like did Evan Turner wear 21? I'm trying to remember who wore 21.
Like in 2012.
Yeah,
Evan Turner's a good shout out.
I think it's Evan Turner. I'm gonna look it up right now. So
12,
okay.
I definitely thought about that. Yeah, just like, oh, that's obviously what they were wearing.
Or not number 12. What am I saying? 21. Yeah, okay. Thaddeus Young.
Thaddeus Young. Okay, nice, good player. It's also like you can't fool us. Like Sixers just lost to the Raptors in the second round.
Yeah. It's a quite a bit different design from 2012 to 2019. So
it's 7 years. Like
yeah.
So
also, okay, so here's another one. When Sandler's back home and he's like supposed to be hanging out with the kids or whatever, and he's trying to watch the game, and Dina Menzel's like, yeah, you're ridiculous. he asked her to change the channel and says it's on ESPN, but the game is actually on TNT. And
it shows it.
And it shows TNT. Yeah, I was like, man,
Yeah.
they should have caught that. They really should have caught that one. That was like, yeah, that was kind of an easy fix. Like,
I wonder if there's some sort of like deal where like he couldn't like, I don't know if that's like a real thing. Like he like couldn't say TNT. He had to use ESPN.
They wouldn't have shown that then if that, you know what I mean? If that was
yeah, they would. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have like advertised it. Yeah, I mean it's advertised multiple times.
I know.
Multiple times. It's clearly says TNT Eastern Conference. Yeah, like come on.
Yeah. And then the game 7 is on ABC, which is like, that makes sense. That you know, and yeah, whatever. But
well, okay, so there's that too. Game 7, that probably would have been during the day.
Well, I'll look that up. That's a good point. 2011, 12.
That's just my guess. My guess is it would have been like Sunday during the day.
Probably a Sunday afternoon, most likely. Yeah, I think.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, even with all that though, it is pretty cool that they use real footage of like a real game,
definitely,
of real games, and it like to the naked eye, or to someone who doesn't like care as much as we do. I mean, this is nitpicking. Like it's pretty amazing. I mean,
okay, it was Saturday. It was Saturday night. Saturday, May 26th.
There you go. Okay.
8 p.m. Yep, Saturday night.
That actually works out perfect.
Yep.
And also, this doesn't really have to do with basketball. Connor, this is for you as well. How much is a blade from New York City to Mohegan Sun in Connecticut?
Oh my god, so much.
It's like, dude, if you can pay for that, you can pay these motherfuckers back.
Yeah.
Like I was like, wait, a blade? You're like, I mean, I've seen this movie so many times, but more so this time, I was kind of like looking for stuff to poke at, and I was like, I kind of forget, like that probably costs so much money.
Here's another nitpick. Mohegan Sun is in Connecticut. At that time, they did not allow sports gambling in Connecticut.
In 2012.
In 2012, they do now, but
yeah. No, it's like a big thing. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, 10 years ago. Now,
So
last 7 years ago.
Last little bit, the scene of like the halftime like speech in Game 7.
Doc Rivers.
Yeah, where he's like playing with like the opal or whatever. Like that's not like crazy that he would like get something out of his locker and like play with it. But the speech is like the most like basic like movie like locker. It's like, okay, come on, like this is not. How
it's pretty bad.
That's fine. It's cool that they got Doc's voice.
Yes, they got Doc's voice, which is like makes it more real or whatever. That is the most kind of like, ooh, like this is a movie.
Yeah. I put that in quotes. In my notes, I said this is very movie. I put that in quotes. That's like. Yeah. Anyway, that's it though. That's it for the
yeah. Connor, you ever taken a blade?
No, I have not.
And who's that crazy motherfucker that's on the blade with her? And he's like, "My God, you are hot."
What a character that guy is.
Yeah. Heat check. Yeah.
Yes.
You're hot. He's like, "I love how into this game you are." Yeah.
He's a magnet for just greasy, idiotic scumbags.
Yeah, that guy had like lived in a tanning booth. It seems.
I love that guy. I love.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
And the guy at Mohegan Sun that she sits next to, he goes, "Man, he's like a cartoon."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like all-time heat check performance where he's like, "I want to go out. Screw the food. Let's cancel it."
Well, he saves her life though, because he walks out with the money.
Yes, he does. And then she doesn't even go get a drink with him. Like
I know. He
hands over $1.2 million to her and is like, "All right, honey, here you go. You want to go have a drink? Come on. Like, let's have a night." And she's just like, "No, I gotta go." And like closes the door and is like, you can drive now." But little does she know that Howie has been shot in the head.
Yeah.
Do you think she's gonna make it back? Like, do you think she's gonna find out about this before she makes it back there?
No. I mean, how would she, right?
So I wondered that too. How would she find out? Also, though, like, so they've got to get out of there like as soon as possible. Like, obviously, they're taking a bunch of stuff, but like they can't wait around for that 1.2 million to get there because like they've just shot 2 guys. So it's like someone's gonna like hear at some point like that's gonna get. So I always think like she's probably safe, like at least for the time being. Like if she drives away and those guys don't follow and don't catch up to her, like obviously they don't see her leave. Like I think she's safe for the time being,
She would be safe if she wasn't such an idiot the rest of the movie, improving us that she can't like make her own decisions.
Yeah.
Like yes, because if she like drives off and she starts calling Howie like, "Oh, I got the money, like 1.2 million, let's go." She does that whole bit, but like he's not answering.
Right.
If like she was really smart, she'd be like, "Oh shit, like something must have happened." He would obviously be on his phone, you know. So that's the moment where she'd be like, "I probably shouldn't go back to where he is. I should probably like go somewhere, a hotel or whatever, and like wait it out." But she's not going to do that. But yeah, I don't know. That's part of the cool part of the ending is you don't exactly know what's going to happen with the $1.2 million. Is she going to have it? Are those guys going to catch her? Or is it going to end up in the hands of some random person? You know, like you have no idea.
You're going to leave that shit at the bus stop by accident and some guy picks it up and is like, "Oh shit, 1.2 million."
Yeah. It might be.
I think I'm going to go gamble on the Celtics. Yeah.
Give me the parlay.
Put it all, Austin. You'll get this quote. Put it all on a horse named Milady.
Yes, lady. Oh, Stealing Harvard. Oh man, yeah, Connor, you've got to see this movie, Stealing Harvard. It's
30-1 shot.
Yeah, it is so stupid, but so great. Perhaps Jason Lee's finest hour.
Perhaps.
Aside from The Incredibles.
I bought it. I found it at Goodwill for $2, so I did buy it.
For
Stealing
real?
Harvard. Yeah,
dude, make that a 10,000 flicks as soon as possible.
Definitely.
Is that an official recommendation?
From both of us.
Yes.
It shall be done.
The first time you watch it, you'll be like, "This is so outrageously stupid." Like I can't like. But then the more I've seen it, the funnier it gets. Like I don't know. Know.
The kid behind the counter weighs about 8 pounds.
It's such a good cast. Like there's so many awesome people in it.
Lights out. I mean, Seymour Castle. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, insane. Dennis Farina.
Dennis Farina. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Stealing Harvard fucking rules. Oh, what's his fucking name? The guy who plays the judge.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying.
God damn it, Connor likes that guy a lot.
I got it.
Yeah, you look that up. Yeah, Stealing Harvard's great, Connor. I couldn't recommend it enough, and Adam probably likes it more than I do. So, cool. I know he doubles down on that.
After Cosmopolis, it's going to be Stealing Harvard. So
Richard Jenkins.
Richard Jenkins. Yes.
Sold.
Yeah, Richard Jenkins is so funny.
Well, and John C. McGinley of Office Space fame.
Yes.
Oh my God, Dr. Cock, I'm in.
Yeah.
I have a toothbrush in my drawer.
Don't play me like a flute. Okay.
Oh, and Chris Penn.
Jesus.
Don't call me asshole.
Tom Green.
Yeah, Tom. Of course, Tom and Jason Lee. Yeah, this movie rules. I'm so sad it's like gotten lost to time, you know, and being like a really low budget comedy.
Also the two electricians, Austin, if you remember this, it's Nick Offerman and Paul Feig.
Oh yeah. That's a good shout.
A young Martin Starr. Yeah,
Martin Starr is so funny. They definitely took the videotapes and the porno, man.
They double back and stole the security cameras too. Who would have thought Steven Harvard would come up on this?
Kyle or Steve? I don't know. Yeah, movie. Yeah, I got hungry, so I decided to heat up a brick of cheese.
I need my cheese, John.
I can't go to prison. They pass me around like a bag of Oreos. Oh man, yeah, we're just quoting the whole movie for Connor, but
sorry.
He's like, what is this?
I have zero fucking context for any of this, but you guys are so into this, and I'm just enjoying this.
Stealing Harvard. Who would have thought? Stealing Harvard. Yeah, be on the lookout.
Prune Ricky.
I need to watch this movie like ASAP now.
The line is a guide, John. It's simply a guide.
Keep these bad. What was he saying? Keep these bad boys on as long as I want to. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, I love the freedom.
Connor, you want to take over? What's in the box?
Sure. Yeah. Our next segment. Let's check out what Letterboxd has to say about Uncut Gems on what's in the box.
What's in the fucking box? Give me the gun.
Oh boy. Okay. Uncut Gems is.
God damn it. I can't stop thinking about Stealing Harvard. All right, Uncut Gems.
3.9 out of 5 on Letterboxd.
Pretty good.
Really good. It's a 4 out of 5 for me.
It's a 5 out of 5, yeah, for me.
I had 4.5 as well. Yep.
Very
5
nice.
stars.
Again, it's the lowest rated of the three of us, and I had it.
Yeah.
Still blows my fucking mind. I have 5 reviews here that are pretty amusing. This first one's from Maria. This movie starts us right off with a psychedelic colonoscopy to signify how clenched our asses will be for the next 2 hours and 15 minutes. And I call this, and I cannot stress this enough, poetic cinema. 4.5 stars.
Yes.
Like it.
Good stuff.
Ah, it is, yeah, I love that. The only movie I've ever seen that starts off with a colonoscopy. Beautiful.
I think so, yeah.
This next one's from Roberto. Michael Jordan's secret stuff from Space Jam walked so Adam Sandler's Magic Opal could run. 5 stars.
Oh, that's good.
Really good. That's really good.
That was Space Jam is my basketball movie. That's how I learned how to play the game and what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
That's interesting. That's interesting. It's not
For the
quite.
longest time, I thought the other team had to be like 20-foot monsters in order for the game to be played.
And once you have Tweety Bird on it. Yeah.
Yeah. If Bugs isn't there, it's not official.
And the owner of the like giant monster team must be owned by Danny DeVito.
Yeah, or at least a cartoon alien who heavily resembles Danny DeVito.
And his name's Swackhammer.
And you'll always lose.
I didn't know
How
Dan
would-
Aykroyd was in this movie.
Dude, yeah. How have we not done Space Jam ever?
I don't, because we had so many stupid fucking rules the first 3-4 years of this thing. We're finally doing this right.
That would be so fun. I'd do Space Jam in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Let's find a way, maybe. Yeah, sometime later in the year.
So
yeah.
this may be. Well, I'll save it for after we record. Well, yeah, I'll save it.
Okay.
This next one's from Hunter Strawberry. Sorry, Marvel, but this is the best movie about a guy with a big ass chin chasing stones. 4 stars.
That's good. I like that a lot. People are funny, man. That's good.
They are.
Yeah.
I love the creativity that people put. I just like talk about what I thought about the movie. I don't have time to think up like brilliant jokes. So
Yeah,
I'm glad these people are doing it for me.
yeah. I mean, it's like movie Twitter. Like people can just however many characters you feel like using, you could use. I mean, you can make novels and like it counts. But you can also just like our one of our good buddies, Adam and one of Adam's very best friends, Matt Stepter. He has some of the funniest reviews on Letterboxd because it'll be like one word.
Yeah.
It'll be like or 2 words. Like for the one, my favorite one he's done is Tenet, and he just said not good. 2 stars. And if you know him, if you know the guy, you're like, yeah.
To the point. I respect that.
Yeah. Or I can't remember what movie it was, but he just put fashion. Oh, I love that you're allowed
Was
to
it
do that.
Phantom Thread?
It might have been Phantom Thread. You're allowed to do that, or you're allowed to write, thousands of characters on, like you can like pour your heart out on Letterboxd. So it's cool. It's cool. You get the best of both worlds.
Fun
I did
fact,
it once. Go ahead.
Matt's the guy who got us into Letterboxd.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I'm glad he brought it up because Austin got me into it, and then I got Caleb into it, and then Caleb got Josh into it, and it's just been this.
Also, Matt is, so when I started my Star Wars rewatch, I texted you, Connor, and then I texted Matt because Matt's also a freak Star Wars fan, and he was like, "Oh, I'm so happy for you, man! like I found God."
It does kind of feel like that. You've joined my church, and I appreciate that. May the force be with you.
Yeah.
He would be on with
Jesus.
us if you wanted, Austin.
Oh yeah, he sent me like unprovoked. I just told him like what my thoughts on Empire Strikes Back, and I was like, yeah, like I like it. I don't think it's as like it's really good, but I think that and New Hope are more like level playing field than people give them credit for. They think like Empire's way better, and he kind of like validated my thoughts, but then like tore them down. It was really funny. This is really long message from him about Empire, like why it's so good, and I was like, yeah, you should be on a podcast, man.
Yeah.
I did a 1-sentence review one time, and it was for The Happening.
Nice.
I just put Mark Wahlberg talks to plants, and
Yeah.
That was all I needed to say about that.
That's about right. I mean, like Connor, I know you're in the middle of watching like the Transformers movies. I mean, you could just be like Robots 1, Robots 2.
I've actually decided to cancel that because I'm not sitting through 6+ hours of Mark Wahlberg as a Texas scientist with a Boston accent and some just complete bullshit robot nonsense. I can't do it anymore. I made it through 3. I can't do it anymore. I'll go see the new one because I hear it might be better, but I can't do. I can't.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm kind of just totally out on Transformers. Too many of them. The Mark Wahlberg one, I think it's number 4, the first one he's in.
Yeah.
I was like, what are we doing? Like, whoa, what? That was Adam. You talked about how you almost walked out of Grown Ups 2. I almost walked out of Transformers 4. I was so close to walking out of that.
I've only seen the first 2 of that.
The first one's fine, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's okay. Second one, whatever. Third one, they just like slowly get worse.
3
as time goes.
3 is a little better than 2, but not by
That's
much.
fair. That's fair. That's the one with is her name Rosie Huntington?
Yeah.
My God, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most unbelievable part of the movie with giant robots is that woman would just be with a unemployed Shia LaBeouf.
Sam with Wiki. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Come on. No. I think in real life she's with Jason Statham. Like that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I got two more reviews for you. This one's from Adam Bolt. Spent the whole time waiting for Kevin James to show up. Not gonna lie. 3 stars.
I would have been okay with that. I would have been okay with okay with like random like, oh, there's Kevin James or there's David Spade, you know, like kind of randomly. That would have been pretty funny cameos.
I feel like it would drop the integrity of this movie pretty quickly if all of a sudden fucking Paul Blart rolled up on a Segway. I'd be like, all right.
I like Kevin James. I like Kevin James. I mean, he's not a good actor or anything, but I don't know. And David Spade, I think, like he always cracks me up.
Are they showing up? Are they showing up as themselves, or like what? Like
no. I think like if David Spade was the guy who says he's like a cartoon at like little tiny bits. You know, not okay. I don't want him to like be in the movie. Just because you're not in the band doesn't mean you're not in the band. I want them to be kind of like the side, kind of like heat check guys.
Okay.
Kevin James, like, what if he was just like randomly at the club dancing to the week? It says nothing. I'd laugh.
Okay, and this last one just had me rolling because, it's from Tyler. If I were him, I wouldn't have done any of that. 2.5 stars. Yeah, I agree, Tyler. Most people probably would too.
If I were him,
it's pretty funny.
I wish like every movie was like that he reviewed was just that. Like, well, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Man, just Tyler. He's an early adopter.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. So I wonder what movies he wouldn't like. He'd be like, I'd do that. like which movies are you like? Yeah, I approve.
Interstellar.
Yeah, I'd get on that ship.
Yeah. Oh man,
I'd jump in the black hole. Sure.
Yeah. Why not?
That's great.
I love it.
This was so much fun.
Yes.
Love the award structure. We're keeping that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a good time. Yeah.
That worked.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Thanks for listening, everybody. If you like what we do, feel free to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Filmgazm Productions. If you want to suggest films for us to watch, you can email us at filmgazm@gmail.com or, of course, send us a message through the socials. Check out our Letterboxd accounts for daily reviews. You can search me at Connor95, and in my friends list, you can find the rest of the team. Check out the website, filmgazm.com, where I have a link to that Letterboxd. If you want to read reviews, you can also find articles, trailers of upcoming films, and every episode of our show. If you'd like to become a monthly donor to Filmgazm, feel free to click on the link in the episode description. From there, click on Support This Podcast. You can choose to donate $1, $5, or $10 a month. All donations go right back into the podcast, and we appreciate it. Thanks to the entire Filmgazm team for their constant friendship and contributions to the show. Thanks to Cooley Cal for our awesome theme music. And thanks to you for checking out our show. We just added First Thoughts and 10,000 Flicks as 2 new kind of sub-shows under the Filmgazm umbrella. And those are a blast to do, so check those out. Our countdown continues next week with Austin's number 8, Paul Thomas Anderson's surrealistic crime comedy, Inherent Vice. Gonna be a blast. Yeah, I've seen this once and I fucking hated it. I watched half of it again years later and I was into it, but then I didn't finish it. So here we are.
Ah, I love that kind of unfinished business.
Yeah. Remember to never bet money that isn't yours, but also to find something in your life that gives you the same high Howard gets from gambling. Find your own way to win. Take it easy, keep watching movies, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.